Hello, and I'm live, and I'm bang on 6 o'clock, so I'm really happy about that. Cheers to everybody. I haven't got my regular Starbucks at the moment. I forgot to order it. I've just pretty much finished work, so it's just me on my lonesome today, I'm afraid. So you'll have me with my homemade coffee. It's not quite the same. I always prefer, as you know, we always tend to have our little Starbucks when we catch up as well. So unfortunately, at the moment, I've just got my, well, it's not instant. If it was instant, I would be upset, but it's actually my Nespresso. So my Nespresso coffee. Here I am, live, on my own. But we can do this. We can get through this. I've never done a live on my own before. Kelly's always a driving factor, so I think we'll be okay. Minnie, how are you? I've been great, thank you. How have you been? It's been a long time, actually. I've not been catching up with you, actually, for a while. So as Kelly's probably said, we are currently both on separate courses, doing separate things at the moment. We're really hoping, though, to tie up our lives together very, very soon. So we will be. But how have you been? Things been okay? It's been absolutely blissful. I say blister. It's been nice and warm here in London, sunny London. It's been a nice day. Hi, Evelyn. You okay? Oh, good, Minnie. Glad you're well. How are you, Evelyn? You good? Have you been at work today? Has it been? If you've been at work, has it been hot? Has it been as hot as it is here? I am working out. We've got a little conservatory at the back, so I've been working out there. Well, working, not working out as in working out, but working there. It is pretty damn hot, I gotta say. It is warm. It is warm, warm, warm. So I'm in. I finished. I'm chilled. We're doing the live. This is good. I don't know how this is going to go, but with your help, we're going to get through. So what has been happening this week? So as I was saying, doing the old studying, we did go out. I don't know if anybody's had a chance to catch up on the video. We did go to the O2 on Saturday just gone. And I've got to say, excuse me, I haven't been there in ages. There's a long, long time we did the O2. Now, the last time I did the O2, I did the walk in London, which you can do. So as part of a group, you actually climb these big stairs, go over the walkway. Whole thing takes about half an hour. That's the last time I did that, and that must be at least 2-3 years ago. So not been since. Oh, even you work from home today, so in the garden enjoying the sunshine. Well, that is good. I'm glad you had a good day. I'm glad you got to relax. I'm glad you got to finally finish. Have you got a cocktail? That's what I'm wondering. This is kind of my cocktail. It's my Tintin Captain Haddock mug, but I've got my coffee in there, so I'm good to go. So I'm just talking about the O2 experience and what an experience it is. I'm just going to talk a bit about the actual walkover for anybody who's thinking of doing the actual walkover to the O2, and then I'm going to talk about our trip on Saturday. So of course that was slightly different because we were just inside the arena rather than opposed to actually going over the top. So over the top. Now, this was really cool. What we did is you get to climb. If you actually watch the video I did on Saturday, you will actually see, I zoom into the little walkway there. So you go up these stairs, probably about 6 or 7 flights of stairs. You get to the top, and you're all geared up. So you've actually got almost like, boiler suits is probably the best way to describe it. You get these harnesses as well with it. So the idea is they put you in these boiler suits. You got your harnesses. And as you go up onto the O2 as well, walkway, it's all rubber. So the best way I can describe it's almost like walking up a trampoline. Oh, no cocktails, but just for good. Well, cheers to you, my dear. Cheers, cheers. Back to the O2. So yeah, it's nice rubber. It's like a rubber walkway. And apparently the reason for that, and I think I probably mentioned this in the previous live, is the fact that it's for lightning. They're worried about if there's a lightning strike. Not that you'd be out at that time, but it's you'd be safe there on this rubber walkway. Anyway, in between this walkway, so this walkway's a big, it's really, really wide. So that gives you the opportunity to go up. You go up on one side, you can go up on either side. But there's almost like a fence in the middle. It looks like a fence, but it's this metal poles basically. And you've got these metal wires that go up over the O2. And what happens is with your harness, you attach your harness onto this metal pole, if you like. So it's, these wires that go in the middle of this bridge up over the O2. So you're doing that, and you go up in stages. Now, I am, as I mentioned before, I am afraid of heights. I'm not the best when it comes to heights. So, but you go up so gradually. So you go up for a little bit. It's not a long, a quick walk. So your guide will be with you. He goes with you, or she goes with you, and they take you up stage by stage. So what happens is you go up in your little group, and they kind of sort of split you into smaller groups. So you go in a line, and you can't overtake each other, because essentially you're tied to these main cables with the cable that attaches to your harness. So it's not as though you can overtake anybody, and they do make you feel safe. So as you go up this harness is on tiny little wheels, so it goes up with you. And as you're walking up as well, you gradually get to see, but it's such a nice view of London. Now, anyone that knows that area, sort of Greenwich area, it used to be quite derelict around there. So it used to be just warehouses. This is going back to the millennium, when they back to 2000 or pre-2000, when they were building it. They sort of smashed down these warehouses and built the Millennium Dome right there. So it's right on the river. And since then, they've built lots and lots of offices. You can see lots and lots of residential areas there, and they're sort of all around the sort of main O2 area. So I was going up there. You can gradually get to see, and lo and behold, believe it or not, there is on the river, or right by the river, there is a golf course, a really mini golf. Well, it's not a golf course; it's more of a driving range. You know, the ones you would get where people were doing the driving range on there. And apparently, office workers will go there at lunchtime to do a few driving ranges. What do you call that? Driving? Yeah, driving. You're having a few shots, or whatever you would call it. I'm not into golf, so I'm not sure. They have that there. And then you get higher and higher and higher and higher and at the top. So it, like I said, you get to the top. That takes roughly about 15 minutes to get to the top. And then you've got half an hour then on the top. No, sorry, I beg your pardon. You get to the top. It's about 10 minutes. So we're at about 10 minutes at the top. So it's almost like a huge sort of circle up the top there. And you can take your harness off at that point. If you want to, and anybody's that interested, as part of your ticket, you can actually pay for champagne, and they will. There's an ice bucket up there, and they will bring that to you if you've paid for it. And then you'll then have this really fantastic view of London then from the top. And then you go down gradually. Driving range. Thank you, Minnie. That was it, a driving range. I couldn't remember what it was called. Yeah, it's a fantastic view. It really, really is. So you get to see from the top. What I will do at some point, they did say that you're not allowed to take a camera with you as you go over the O2, but you are allowed to take a GoPro. So I will look, that's going to be one of my treats to myself at some point, to get a GoPro, because one of the things I do want to do, or Kelly and I want to do, is start shooting a lot more films with the GoPro. So doing things like that. So that would be perfect if we go over the O2 with a GoPro. So you guys will get to see that. I think, especially for you, Minnie, if you're not able to get over to the UK, we can then show you that GoPro experience going over the O2. But I will double check with them first if we can actually take the GoPro. It may have changed since I last went, and this is about 2 years ago I went, but that was over the dome. And then once you get over, then you then start to make your descent downwards, which is really weird, because your feet, as you know, you're walking like this normally. Your feet kind of do that angle because you're walking downwards on this rubber mat going down. But the descent and the ascent is really, really slow. Now, if you are afraid of heights like I am, going up there's quite good, because you do go slowly, and you get to grips with it very, very slowly as you start to go up, just gradually, a little bit. Then he stops, or she stops, whoever your guide is. I always say he, because our guide at the time was a guy. And they tell you a little bit about the area, what you can see. And when we got to the top, Kevin Hart actually had just done a concert the day before, and our guide told me he took Kevin Hart up there personally to have a look, and he was there. Apparently, he was there filming everything. He was trying to do live on his film. So yeah, it really was a good experience doing that. So anybody that's looking to do the O2 experience, I would recommend it. Try and go on a nice day, because they do go in all weathers. Oh, we've got this new person. Hello, how are you? And you love to cook, I see. I was just talking about the O2 experience. Good evening to you as well. Have I pronounced your name right? Is it Shanaz? I'm terrible at pronunciation. So sorry if I butchered your name. Is that correct? Shanyaz. If I've pronounced that properly, I do apologize. I'm not very good at that's just my ignorance. But yeah, we were just talking. Sorry, just talking about. I keep saying we because normally I've got Kelly here, but Kelly's actually just been studying today, so she's not here at the moment. So I'm afraid you've got me for this evening. But nice of you to join us. Really good to see you. And also as well, the O2 as well. They've got the once you go over the actual experience as well. They did this little package where you get a little bear with it. I should have brought it downstairs so you can see it. Not that you want that, but it does come with that as well. Really good experience. Really recommend. Now, for my Saturday experience. So Kelly and I, if you'll see from our video, we went to the O2 on Saturday. And what we wanted to see actually as well, the last time we went, they hadn't actually built the shops on the top floor. Hello. Oh, great. We've got new people come through. Good to see you all. Yeah, we went up to the O2 onto the top floor. Now, the reason I say top floor is as you go through onto the O2, for those of you who haven't been there or those that you have, all the main restaurants are at the bottom sort of floor. Oh, it was late. Where are you from, Sparks? MXXXZ. When you say it's late there, so late there, you must be I don't want to point in that way. You're going towards the east, so you are you're from India. Oh, and you're from Singapore. Lovely to have you both here. Really, really love to have you here. That's fantastic. And Singapore is 1 a.m. I was going to say, actually, yeah, because you must be hours ahead. Do you know, it's really nice to have so many great people from India and from Singapore. So thank you so much for joining us, guys. Really appreciate your support. And it's lovely to have you here. We do our lives every Friday and Tuesday. At the moment, Kelly and I are India, it's 10 p.m. So a late one for you as well. Yeah, we do our lives every Tuesday and Friday. So I'm really glad that you could join us here. And thank you so much for joining us from India and Singapore. My cousin, many years ago, she used to live in Singapore, and she loved it. She said it's actually a fantastic country, but very, very hot. but yeah, she said it was a really, really nice place to live. And I would love to visit both Singapore and India. Oh, you're a new subscriber. Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for subscribing. Really happy to have new subscribers there. It's really great. Yeah, I know it's 1 p.m. behind from all your other time zones. That's the thing as well. When we have obviously the lives as well, we try and fit them in when we can, so as many people can come and see it. I know Minnie as well, because Minnie's 1 p.m. So Minnie's Canada. So we've got from Canada all the way over to India and Singapore. But thank you so much for joining us, guys. Really lovely to have, and I thank you so much for subscribing. Yeah, we were doing our O2 experience. So those shopping, if you've seen our video, though, that shopping area is really, really new. That wasn't there a few years ago when we last went. So we really wanted to check that out. Oh, you're also a new subscriber too. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate your support. Yeah, the shopping center, it was brand new. So when we were going up there as well, that's actually an outlet store. So outlet in the UK basically means obviously slightly cheaper than the regular shops, but which is strange to have that in the O2 area. Those restaurants as well, it very much reminded me, Minnie, I don't know if you have the same in Canada, but it reminded me when I went to United States that in Las Vegas, they actually had an indoor area. And what they've done, even though it's indoor, the Miracle Mile, they called it. And they have restaurants inside, so, and they've actually painted the ceiling so it looks like the sky. So as you walk through, it looks like you're actually walking through a street, but you're not. You're actually indoors. And they've also got trees indoors growing out by the restaurants, and they made the restaurants look like you're actually dining al fresco. If you try Indian food, you will feel heaven. Do you know what? I absolutely love Indian food. It's one of my favorite foods. They had, funny enough, when we were in the O2, they had 2 Indian restaurants there that I wanted to try. One was actually closed. Well, actually, I say closed. I think they're actually refurbishing to reopen. And the other one there it looked quite good as well, although Kelly had eaten there before. But yeah, no, I do love Indian food. I really, really do enjoy Indian food. And it's different types as well. So I've actually, of course, when I say Indian food, of course, as you know, there's many different regions as well, aren't there, in terms of the actual food. Years ago, I used to have a flatmate. And my flatmate, he's from Pakistani descent. So that's where his family originally came from before they moved to the UK. So he used to have this thing, and I love Indian food too. You guys should take us to an Indian restaurant sometime in one of your videos. Do you know what? We will. And actually, there are some ones near here. There is a Nepalese one, which I know is not Indian, but the Nepalese one. There's a Bengali one very close here, and there is there's another one which I think is Goan. I think is a Goan one near here. So different regions there. But the food was delicious. Anyway, going back to my flatmate story, he used to have, I've said this before, but he used to have a pile of 10 chapatis he used to have. And he would put a huge dollop of ghee. So he put the ghee on top of the chapatis like this. He would get sugar and sprinkle the sugar on the ghee. And then he would then fold in the chapati and eat the ghee and the sugar. And right now, I tried it. First of all, I wasn't sure, but I started to eat very unhealthy because it's very, very fattening, but it was really, really good food, really good food. So, yeah, it was good. But yeah, the different regions. So I'm really fascinated actually with Indian cuisine on the different regions. So the different types of food. And that's one thing as well, because I'm vegetarian. So there's a lot of vegetarian, well, I'm pescatarian, so I do eat fish, but there are a lot of, I do like vegetarian dishes. Food stories are dangerous at this time of night. So Singapore food, tell me a bit more about Singapore food, because that's something I'd be interested in trying as well. I don't know of any. One good thing about London, London has a really wide variety of restaurants. And it's got a really, really good variety there. There was actual fact, if you look at the R02 video, there was a little van in the middle of the O2, and it was called Indian Street Food. So he was actually selling, the owner there was actually selling chapatis, naan, and different curries that he'd cooked as well. But I didn't actually go to try it, but I will try that. When did I start being pescatarian? So I've been pescatarian for 20 years, so quite a while. Oh, I love staying at Singapore. Stayed at the Orchard Road. Nice place. Wow. Okay. This is it. So you actually been to Singapore? No, I'd love to go. One of my all-time, I've never been to India, never been to Singapore. I should have gone to Singapore when my cousin lived there. I did have the opportunity, but I didn't go in the end, and I do regret that. And I would love to go to India. Love to do actually a tour of the Indian subcontinent. So India, Sri Lanka, and Pakistan as well. Would love to go there, see the different regions. I really would like to go to the Kashmiri region as well, which I hear is very, very beautiful. So would love to do that. Oh, paneer tikka. I love paneer. Paneer is, you know what, paneer is dangerous because it's so nice, but it's really fattening. But it's one of the few cheeses you can actually fry, isn't it? So I do love. There was I tell the restaurant I was telling you about that's near here. They do this delicious paneer dish. So it's actually deep fried paneer, and I forget, it might actually be what you're talking about, the tikka paneer. Really, really nice. And when the paneer goes into the actual sauce, it lets off this really nice oil that just sort of seeps out into the curry. It's so good. It really is nice. That with chapatis as well, delicious. Oh my god, that's so nice. I've been to India, but only to Bangalore. It's amazing, the food. Great memories. Well, there you go. Fantastic. So you've really made me want to go now. Yeah, no, would love to go. And especially as well, like you're talking about the food as well. You've really got me. Do you know what? I will do that. We will do a video from an Indian restaurant, but we need to find out one that's good. because as you know, like any restaurant as well, some are good, some are not so good. So we want to find one that's really good. There was one near where we live, which was really good, but it's actually changed hands. So it's not quite as good as it used to be. So I want to find one probably actually that's quite famous in London. So I'll do a little bit of research, see if there's one that we can show you, and then see what you think. But if you guys have heard of one that's in London, or if you've got family members or friends that have said, oh, try this restaurant in London, please let us know. Biryani, oh, I love biryani. Vegetable biryani is, oh, that is one of my favorites. That is one of my favorites. Vegetable biryani, king prawn biryani, delicious. I love that fact we've got it's all blended in with the rice. So it's so good. I love the fact as well that there's cardamom in it. And I think that flavor of cardamom in the rice really adds to it. I don't know what it is with cardamom and rice. Paneer tikka. Singapore food is really diverse since we're quite multicultural. Yes, you are. You both would love trying everything here, I think. But do you know what? It sounds fantastic. So what Singapore dish would you recommend? If I was to come to Singapore, and likewise, if I was to come to India, what dish would you recommend? Or is there a restaurant that you recommend? Do you guys have a favorite restaurant near you that you go to and you just think to myself, yeah, I'm going there. That's the one I want to go to. Here in London, it's very difficult because I suppose there's so many different types of cuisine. It's very much like Singapore, which you're saying with Singapore, is a real big mix. So, you know, you've got the different types there. And mini as well. I'm just thinking in terms of Canada. I know you were talking about your favorite sort of restaurants and where you like to go, but is there one particular, if I was to come to Canada, what Canadian dish would you recommend I try? Oh, yeah. So, Mark, yes. Yes. Yeah. So what one would you try? What would you recommend? Because that's one thing actually I think I would really like to know. If I was to go, one thing they all say, and I had a Chinese friend of mine, and he always said that. He used to say to me, Mark, the best Chinese restaurants are the ones where Chinese people go. And it's true. If you go to Chinatown in London, we did film that in one of our videos. There's a couple of restaurants there where you've actually Chinese people will go, and that's he said that was a real good indication of how good the food is, because you know it's something traditional and it's something that people will go to. So yeah, definitely something I would love to hear what you guys would recommend. What would be if I was to go to India, to Singapore, Canada, or where anybody else is listening in as well, what would they recommend I try? Now, I know with English food, people tend to sort of think fish and chips and roast dinner. And I suppose that would be something recommend. As you see from Kelly and I, we did an earlier video, where we went to the Toby Carvery, which is kind of traditional roast. It's not the highest end, but it's okay. It's quite good. That would be sort of traditional English. So if somebody was to come from outside the UK, into the UK, that was just something I would tell them, just so they could try something different. That would be what I would go for. But again, there's many dishes that you can try. But I would definitely love to try on the yeah. You said really, yeah, absolutely. You may not like it, not for everybody, and if I'm being honest, but I would definitely recommend. But I don't know if you knew this, but actually curry is the Britain's most popular dish, believe it or not. Oh, wow, what a tough question. Since you are pescatarian, I'd recommend chili crab. Oh, wow, although I prefer black pepper crab because I love the spice. Chili crab is misnomer since it's not spicy. So when you say chili crab, that's really interesting, actually. Can I call you Sparks? I know that's the first thing. You've got Sparks on your thing, so I call you Sparks, if that's okay. Or let me know if it's something else you prefer to be called. But with your crab, with chili crab, is it actually just crab just with chilies, or is that with a chili sauce? Or would you have that fried? Now, there's a restaurant here. The reason why I ask is there's a restaurant. You may. Thank you, Sparks. Tandoori chicken. No, do you know what? Because I don't eat chicken, but I have tried other tandoori dishes. Yeah, I don't. I only eat vegetables or fish as well. But there's a really nice restaurant in London, in West London, called Sacconi's. Now, Sacconi's does pure vegetarian Indian dishes. It's really good. One of my favorite dishes that they do is actually aubergine. So it's a grilled aubergine, and apparently it's a South Indian dish. Once you try it, do you know what I was going to say actually? Because tandoori is really delicious, but with the aubergine dish that they had there, they actually did it on a grill, like a griddle. Paneer butter masala. Oh, that sounds amazing. What's in that? Is that so with that butter masala, is that just the, do you call it paneer butter masala because it's paneer and then it goes in the sauce and then the sort of the butter comes out of the paneer, or do you just add the butter in it? Because also is what I know with a lot of Indian dishes as well, because ghee is one of the big ingredients, and I love ghee. Ghee is really nice. It's very rich, very creamy. I do want to talk a bit about, when we finish talking about the main, I do want to talk about the Indian sweets, because I do like the Indian sweets as well. There's some really good Indian dishes. Is it gulab jamun, which is the like dough balls as well, and ras malai is what ras malai is delicious, really, really good. But the paneer butter masala does sound good. Now, I'm really intrigued about your crab. In the UK, there's a restaurant we like to go to, which is called Wagamama's. Now, Wagamama's, they do a chili squid, which is basically what they do is they get this squid and they cut it up into little segments and they fry that up. But that's fried in with pepper and it's fried in with chili, which is really delicious. Okay, we got, so Sparks has said it's actually a tomato-based sauce with some sweet chili too. I believe it's sweet, but not in a bad way. Pretty Moorish. Okay. Do you know what? That sounds right up my street. I love crab. Dressed crab is delicious, but that with the chili is nice. Is it similar? Because I've tried Thai fish cakes, which are sort of similar as well. We have with the sweet sauce. Minnie said I would like to eat poutine, maple taffy. Oh wow, beaver tails. Not really a beaver. Pastry dessert. I would also make a sample pure Canadian maple syrup and a few other things to go along. Do you know, Minnie, my brother lives in the United States and he went to Canada for a little trip and he sent me back, he posted me back lots of maple syrup, which I put on the pancake. That was unbelievable. We get maple syrup in the UK, but nowhere near as good as the one you have in Canada. So it was fantastic. I made pancakes just for that reason with that. It was so, so good. One easy cook, paneer tikka. Okay, so paneer tikka. So is that a really easy dish to cook? Would you recommend that as an easy one? I know with the biryani as well, because that can be, because obviously you've got the rice and you add your cardamom and you add, I forget the other spices now that go in that as well, but that was nice as well. I love the fact when you've got those spices you add to the rice, it gives it a really nice texture. Delicious, absolutely delicious. You're making me hungry now. I've not eaten something. So tell me a bit more about the Indian sweets as well, because I'm really interested in those. What ones would you recommend? I've always wanted to, Spark said, I've always wanted to try poutine. It's always looked amazing. Yeah, now Minnie's mentioned this before, actually, with the poutine. I've wanted to have a look into this as well. It does sound really, really nice. Kelly's had it, I think. But I've never had it, I've never tried it, so I definitely want to try it. There is a Canadian shop actually in London. There's a United States one and a Canada one, so I might have a little venture down there actually, Minnie. Well, I might do a little film as well, so then you can see what it's like. Minnie said, as like on one of the other things, I would make you get some from Tim Hortons. Oh yeah, you mentioned about this before because it's our main coffee and food like shop. I also have you try something from there too. Yeah, you mentioned Tim Hortons before. I do remember you saying about that as well. So that is something I'll have a little look at for the Canada shop as well. I will have a I'm pretty sure I'm not mixing it up with the American one, but I'll definitely have a look for that as well. There is an Australian one as well in London. So London's great because it has got loads of different shops from all around the UK, around the world, sorry. So something there for me to try. But yes, right. Spark said, and Tim Hortons is like world famous. Oh, do you have it in Singapore? I really want to try their donuts. We don't really have good donut chains here. So Sparks, I was going to ask you actually. I've got a friend of mine from Myanmar, and they were telling me that in Myanmar, there's lots of good chocolate. They got UK chocolate, so Cadbury's chocolate. Do you get that British chocolate in Singapore as well? Just out of interest, I was just wondering, because I know with the chains as well, a lot of these are sort of national. Oh, you off? You said, okay, bye, take care. Are you going? Or you, if you are going, really nice to talk to you. If not, please stay on, because I'd love to hear about these Indian sweets. I really do like them. What Minnie said, our donuts are all right. Sometimes they can be really good, but I could go for the Timbits. What's the Timbits? Have I got that right? Timbits? I thought Canadian donuts are really good. Don't you guys do the one... I mix it up now with churros, but you have the really light donuts, because you were saying, do you remember, Minnie, you had the ones that look like mustaches? You have those ones as well. Gordon Ramsay does one where he donut holes. Is that what Sparks is saying? Our Timbits donut holes. That would make sense. I always wonder what they did with the hole. Americans call them donut hole. We call them Timbits. Right. Okay. So it's the hole. So you actually, it makes sense. You think, what do you do with the dough that comes in the middle? So you actually have them as Timbits. And what do you do with those? Are they just plain with sugar? Would you have them together? I'll tell you something, it's completely unrelated, but I'll say you anyway. In fish and chip shops in certain places in England, they give you what's called scraps. And what scraps are is when you've got the chips, and when you've got obviously when the fish fries, little bits of the batter comes off and little bits of the chips come off. And they all form, they absorb all the oil. They're very, very tasty, but they're very fattening. So what they do is if you ask for scraps, they'll put them in a little bag and give them to you. Oh yeah, we get lots of British snacks and confectionery. We even have a Tesco selection. Oh, you do? You've got Tesco. Oh wow, at the supermarket. That is mad. Do you know what I was going to say? Actually, I could. That's so funny. You get a Tesco there in Singapore. I can't think of any. We do have Singapore restaurants here in the UK, but I can't think of any sort of Singapore snack. And if you mention one, I might know of one there as well. But yeah, he did say to me in Myanmar they do have Cadbury's chocolate's really, really popular. That he used to say to me, Cadbury's chocolate and Premier League football is very popular. So those are the two things that would always go. But yeah, he'd always mention to me about how you got the chocolate and how that's quite popular. Cadbury's is sort of quite popular around the world. We did go to the Cadbury's factory. It is in one of our videos if you're interested, where we did go up to Birmingham to look at the Cadbury factory where they make actually all the chocolate in the UK. Minnie said they have many different flavors and they're nice, but their size, but they're full of sugar. And oh my God, that's why I love them, because they're a good sweet, but they're so fat, so good too. Do you know that's the thing? Because they're small, they absorb all that oil and they absorb all that sugar, and this is like a really concentrated flavor. That sounds amazing. It's the sort of thing I could just eat and eat and eat and eat. Really good. Sparks is saying it's not Tesco, it's just dedication, a couple of shells. Ah, okay, for Tesco products. I grew up eating Cadbury. Oh yeah, and even said Indian sweets, gulab jamun. Yes, love them. Love gulab jamun. Really nice. I do like I said before, I love ras malai as well. That's a really nice Indian dish. But yeah, I see. Yeah, if you like your Cadbury's as well, that's always the debate I had though. When I went to the States, what do people prefer? Do they prefer Cadbury's, or do they prefer Hershey's, which is the American brand, or do they prefer another variety? We went to, in the O2, they had the Lindt store, which is Swiss chocolate. So we did go there and try that. That was really, really good. We got actually, they got them still. Oh yeah, that's what's left of the bag. That was a full bag. So we have been eating those. But that's what's left of that tiny little, that big bag. So I know that's really bad. I've ate them since Saturday. So that's only 4 or 5 days I've been eating them, but they were delicious. So what is everybody's favorite, or do you have a different type of chocolate you prefer? Is there something other people prefer other than Cadbury's, Hershey's, Lindt. Belgium chocolates are absolutely fantastic. Oh, also Sparks goes for the Lindts. That's interesting. So is that your favorite? Would you, if you were given a choice, you would go for that one? Do you guys have Godiva? Yes, we do have Godiva. Godiva is Belgian. We do have Godiva chocolate. They do in, it's not, the local one to us is actually moved, but they did chocolate covered strawberries. They were delicious. They'd actually get the strawberries, cover them in Godiva chocolate, and you'd have them in a little paper cone, so you can eat those as well. That was so, so good. But yeah, Godiva is really nice chocolate. Minnie said that's what I prefer for Timbits. Instead of a full donut, so you can get a box of 10, 20, 40 or 50 of them. 50 donuts. And then depending on the size of the group you'll be getting. So if you have like 5 people, go for a big box. Do you find actually, Minnie, though, because they're small, and this is where the trap I fall into, I end up eating more because you just think to yourself, well, they're small, so I'll just have a few. The big donuts I got from Donut Time, as you saw on one of the other videos we did, they're huge. They're like that big. They're really, really big. But you can only eat one, well, half, maybe one. I'm not going to eat one, but Kelly would only eat half of it. But yeah, some people really, really struggle to eat those big ones. But sometimes when you've got tiny bits, you just, and you don't concentrate. This is one of the things I had to stop when I was working, is that I'd be constantly snacking while I'm eating. Spark said, if I had to pick, Godiva would be it. If your Godiva has ice cream, but definitely try it some. Yes, Godiva does do ice cream. You're right. Kelly and I went to Belgium actually, and we went to one of the big Godiva stores in Brussels, and that was fantastic. The ice cream was unbelievable. Really, really good. Ah, Evelyn, that Evelyn said Hotel Chocolat. Hotel Chocolat actually does really good chocolate too. That's one of Kelly's favorites. Minnie said we have Godiva here as well. We get them during the holidays, and yes, we go crazy when eating Timbits because they are small, but we don't get them often. So yeah, it's a good treat. Well, do you know what? That's fine. I think if you have it once in a while, why not? It's a nice little treat. You can have it. It's good to eat. When we do the donut times as well, we don't often get it. So Kelly and I will only probably pick them up if we go into London. Sometimes we do an order, but I try not to because you can only buy 6 minimums. You end up having to eat 6 donuts, so which is not good because they are big. These are big, big, big donuts. So we tend to get one each if we go into London. But obviously, because of the pandemic, we haven't been in that much at all. So, so yeah, so that's interesting. So we've got Godiva. So Sparks is going Godiva over Lindt. Evelyn's going Hotel Chocolat. And I think, Minnie, are you going Godiva? Or are you going to go different? Oh, Sparks says, I've never been to any place in Europe, but it sounds amazing, especially as a food enthusiast. Do you know, Sparks, you would love going to Europe because everything is so, so different. And the good thing about Europe is it's very close. So if you're in one country, you can easily travel from one country to the other. Well, not so much. I know it's the pandemic now, so it's a bit more difficult, but normally it's actually quite easy to travel, and the food is so different. So Italian food is different to French food, it's different to Dutch food, Belgian food, Spanish food is completely different, and British food is completely different. So it's really, really, really different cuisines. Even German, Greek food, Turkish food is really nice. What's good about London, and I always rave, the good thing I love about living in London is London's got so many restaurants from so many places around the world. So you've got all European restaurants, you've got various restaurants from different countries in Africa, South America. You get obviously American, North American restaurants, which are very, very popular. Chinese is very, very popular. India food is incredibly popular here. So you do get the different types of cuisine as well. So you can go to the high street and eat at any different store that you get. Mark, you just said eating while snacking. I know. This is the thing. This is what's happening. This is what I'm doing. I always end up thinking, well, I'll talk about this, and I always end up going back to food. So I'm sorry, guys, but I love talking about food, and I love to hear actually what you guys like to eat as well. It's very interesting to hear, you know, Sparks from Singapore, we've got Minnie from Canada, you know, our friends from India. So it's really nice to see what you guys like to eat, what you guys like to snack on. I just find it interesting just finding sort of the different things that people like to eat. So Minnie, you are going Godiva. So we've got 3 Godivas. Minnie said, yeah, my family get Godiva during the holiday, but I also like Lindt chocolate. I would like those ones too, so I would go for the 2. One thing we found, I don't know if you managed to catch up with our video in the O2, but when we went to the Lindt store, I was shocked actually to see how many different flavors they had. I'm not going to eat one now because I won't be able to talk. But they've got the, the orange, and I've not tried matcha. I keep getting matcha chocolates, but I haven't eaten them. So there's quite a few here. They had a coconut latte one. Evelyn, you'd like that one. It does taste like, I don't know if you like coconut, but it does taste like coffee. So that was really, really good. But yeah, I am a big Lindt fan. And Godiva as well is really, really good. We did try, Minnie, they have so many different flavors. Oh my God, yes. What is your favorite, if you had to have, so rather than plain chocolate, if you had to have a flavored chocolate, what would it be? What would you guys go for? So would you have choc orange, or are you not a fan? Is it the fact that you say, I just want plain chocolate, nothing else? Is there anything that you would just avoid? So do you hate coconut with it? Do you hate orange with it? Or is that your thing? Now, for me, there's one thing I think for me that goes together is coffee and chocolate. The 2 are delicious, but I'm really getting into strawberry and chocolate. There's something about strawberry and chocolate that's really, really good. And I do like coconut and chocolate. There's something about the coconut and chocolate is delicious. So those are my sort of go-to flavors, but I'm always interested to try new things as well. Now, when we went to Brussels, one of the things they did do there as well, they actually had the chocolate spread, like the Nutella spread, but with those as well, because Nutella is really hazelnut spread, so hazelnut chocolate, but they had dark chocolate, orange chocolate, cherry chocolate, all a spread, and they were really good. They're so delicious. So many have so many different flavors. Have you tried orangettes? I love coconut too. It's a very popular flavor over here. With orangeette, is that chocolate orange? Because that's I do like chocolate orange. I've got to say that zesty chocolate orange is delicious. Minnie said I like orange or mint chocolate. I also like white chocolate, dark chocolate, milk chocolate, regular plain chocolate. I like coffee, mixed chocolate. So a lot of chocolate, Minnie. Oh, cherry chocolate. Yes, I like that too. And the cherry filling, I like that. That's what I like about it, because you like all the different varieties. I'm not a big fan of mint chocolate. And the reason being, I don't know what it is. There's a joke a comedian tells here in the UK. And he always says, he goes, if you've never tried mint chocolate, all you need to do is brush your teeth, then eat a bar of chocolate. And that's why I don't like mint chocolate, because it just reminds you of toothpaste. I know, it's not always the same, but there's something about, I'm not always a big fan of mint chocolate. So that's not always my favorite. But Sparks was saying orangettes are candied orange zest covered in chocolate. Ah, okay. That sounds amazing. I do like candied fruit. I really do like candied fruit, and that sounds really, really good. I've not tried it, but that sounds good, Sparks. I would probably get that. I think I would eat that. I would most definitely do it. When we went to Belgium as well, as I was saying as well, they did do that as well. So they would get candied fruit. So they would get, like you say, candied orange. They would get candied, and they would dip that in chocolate. But I do like candied fruit. There's something delicious about it. I really, really do like it. What do you guys think of marzipan? Is anybody? Oh, so Evelyn's gone caramel coffee and strawberry chocolate. That's right up my street. I knew it, Evelyn. That's exactly what I would go for. Yes. Caramel, coffee and chocolate go together so well. I know, because obviously you can get mocha drink, but there's something really good about that as well. And hot chocolates as well, the different hot chocolate flavors you can get. When we went to Whittard's in O2, as you can see from the video, we were really tempted. They had all these different flavors. They had sticky toffee pudding, hot chocolate, which I was really tempted to get. But the one that I really want to get, we did buy it before and it's so good, is peanut butter hot chocolate. Now, hear me out. If you don't like peanut butter, obviously you're not going to like this, but peanut butter and chocolate go so well together. If anyone's tried Reese Pieces, you'll know that, but this was really, really good. So it was peanut butter in a hot chocolate. Yeah, Minnie said caramel is good. Spark said, oh, I can't believe I left it out. peanut butter and chocolate, a favorite for sure. There you go. Yes, absolutely. Oh my God, just seen as commentator. Yeah, I love peanut butter. I don't know. Do you know what? I only got into peanut butter and chocolate when I went to the United States. And I couldn't believe how good that is. It really is that combo. Do you know what? I'm going to tell someone. I'm going to tell you because we're all friends. And Kelly's not here, so I can't get into trouble. But Kelly bought Nutella. So you know the Nutella chocolate spread. And I've got to be honest, I would get a spoon. I would get a spoonful of peanut butter. And then you get the same thing. Dip that in the Nutella and try that. Don't at me. Try it. It's absolutely delicious. And I know I'm going to get into trouble for saying that, but it's delicious. So Spark said, whereabouts in the US did you guys visit, by the way? Sounds like a great trip. So we've been to several, there's two main places. This is actual fact, Minnie's gone there as well. So we went to Florida, Spark. So we wanted to go to Disney World and we wanted to go to Universal Studios. So we went to Orlando, Florida, which was absolutely amazing. And then we went to Las Vegas, and that's where I got into the peanut butter and chocolate. So Las Vegas was one of my favorite places. We have been to New York as well. And Kelly's been to Canada. I haven't been to Canada. Love to go to Canada. But those are the places I've been. Have you been to the States? Minnie said, oh, my God, yeah, that's amazing. I've had that before. And, yes, the peanut butter and Nutella. Oh, have you tried it, Minnie? Oh, isn't it the best thing? Isn't it so good? I know it's so good. You know what I was going to do as a joke? Because I've got to do a thumbnail whenever we do these videos. So I was going to hold up this sign saying, help, bring chocolate. So I was going to have my pick there, but I couldn't get it to work and I was running late. So in the end, I just did the thumbs up. But yeah, that was my little joke for the sign. But there is something amazing about having peanut butter and chocolate in that spread. It's so good. I don't know why it works so well. And I don't know who the first person was to do that. Who was the first person to do orange and chocolate? But again, that goes really well. Delicious. Yeah, so Minnie was saying you tried it with Nutella. Nutella's great, but there are some really good spreads as well that you can have. Spark said, I did study abroad in San Diego back in uni. Missed a chance to go to Vegas, though. I did a visit to LA quite a few times and New York City as well. No Canada, sadly. Well, John, Kelly and I really do want to go to Canada. Kelly loved Canada. She said how amazing it was. So there's so many places to go. We'd love to come and see you guys at some point as well. So our trip to Canada, we'll have to come and see you, Sparks, in Singapore. Yeah, Evelyn said, I do hate mint. What was the other one as well? Oh, licorice. Oh, licorice. Now, licorice is a very that is a very acquired taste. I do know, I was chatting to a friend of mine as well, and he was saying as well, in Finland, so again, this is the changes in Europe. In Finland, I used to have a Finnish flatmate. So she used to do this thing where they would get these sweets that are licorice and they would actually boil them. So you'd actually melt them in a pan and then you add that to vodka and they would drink that as well. So it's a very sort of licorice drink. Not my cup of tea, but licorice is very strong. Yeah, I would love to stay a personal food tour. Do you know what? A personal food tour would be absolutely fantastic. One of the things that I did like about doing a Vegas, and it's such a shame you can get to go spots because it was really good, is the buffets you've got in Vegas are just fantastic. But I would love to do like you, stage a food tour around the world. Well, around the world, let's say. Love to do it in Canada. Love to do it in Singapore. Would love to do it in India. So yeah, if we ever do end up in Singapore, you can recommend some dishes for us. I am very tempted about that crab chili. That chili crab sounds fantastic. So I would like to try this. And I'd love to try these donuts, Minnie. You got me thinking now as well. Mini donuts absorbing all that sugar and the oil. Sounds delicious. With your donuts as well, are these just plain or do they, the other thing I was going to ask you, is they plain with sugar or do they actually glaze them as well? Because there is something nice about a glazed donut as well. That sort of sugar sticky thing, and then you have the donut underneath. Delicious. One thing I think about the donut time donuts was the fact that you had all those different types of fillings in as well. And I was really getting into chocolate donuts. Before, traditionally, I always have just the jam donuts, but there was something really nice about those chocolate donuts. that thing of having the chocolate inside, but having all the chocolate on the top. So I think, you know, when you see Homer Simpson, when he's got those sort of chocolate glazed ones with all the sprinkles on, that's what I'm talking about. That type of donut, delicious. So Spark was saying, yeah, I would, chili crab restaurants, and chili crab restaurants are usually by the beach. Oh, fantastic. So you get to have chili crab whilst on the beach. That's amazing. That's amazing. That sounds really, really good. Minnie said they come with a glaze, the donuts, and sugar and different flavors, but yeah, but nothing crazy, just a simple classic flavor for, for their classics. Well, do you know what? I suppose if they're really tiny, you can't have too much with them. But there's something as well I do like about having that filling in it as well, but plain ones are really, really good. I think I said before, there's a recipe somebody used as well, where you can, if you're short, you can actually make donuts out of bread. So you need white bread and you can form it into like a dough and you fry that as well, but it has to be a certain type of white bread. But never tried it. They said it's okay, but I think I would stick with the traditional. Now here in London, we did go to, and I've forgotten the name of the company, it will come back to me, but there's a company that does baked donuts. So it's tried to be healthier. So there's no, they're not deep fat fried. They're not, we tried them. Okay. And I thought, I tried one, I didn't like it. And I thought, well, I've just tried one. So I tried different varieties. And I ended up trying 4, not at the same time, but 4 in different goes. And you can't beat the fried taste. I'm sorry. If you're going to have a donut, you've got to go for the unhealthy one. A baked one is just not the same. Right. Spark said, what's the best British dessert in your opinion? My fiance's favorite dessert is sticky toffee pudding. Do you know what? I've got to say, Sparks, I'm going to sound boring, but that is my favorite British desserts are, yeah, sticky toffee pudding is definitely up there for one. Crumble, I don't know if you've heard of that. So crumble is normally what you do is you get fruit at the bottom. It's mainly, not always, you can have fruit crumble, apple crumble, different type, or peach crumble, that type of thing. You put fruit at the bottom, lots of sugar, and the crumble basically is you get flour, butter, sugar. Some people add almonds and things like that in there, and you put that on the top. You dust that over the top, and then you cook that, and then the it's called crumble because the butter melts into there and forms a top. That's one of my favorites as well. I do like puddings as well. So we have like jam sponge. So it's basically, it's a sponge with jam or treacle on top, and then you add custard to that. Custard is a really, really, really top British thing. If you ever have them, you'd have something with custard. So like pie with custard, crumble with custard, a sponge thing with custard. That is very British to have custard. So British that the French call it crème anglaise, English cream. So that's why. Minnie said that's a bagel with sugar. Yeah, not a donut. No, you're right. Lol, might as well get bagels and put Nutella and peanut butter in them. Do you know what? I think it's a recipe somebody tried as a substitute. If you're out of flour and you want to make donuts, you can use bread. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I'll tell you something funny in a minute. I'm just going to read Sparks' comment. Donut time doesn't count. Oh, but donut time's fantastic, Sparks. Have you seen that video? They were so good. Minnie said, oh my God, crumbles are good. Oh, you get them too. Oh, fried donuts only, says Evelyn. Yeah, absolutely. If you're going to have a donut, what's the point if you're not going to have it fried? Spark said, I first read about treacle from Harry Potter growing up. I had no idea what it was, but loved the way Harry loved it. Treacle is delicious. It's a real British thing as well. Actual fact, if you like Harry Potter, Sparks, all the things he eats in that are very traditional English. One of the things, Minnie, I don't know if you went when we went to Florida, but if you go into the Harry Potter world in Universal Studios, they have the Leaky Cauldron restaurant there. And they had basically all of that's British sort of type things. They also had an ice cream parlor there where they had sticky toffee pudding flavor, crumble flavor, apple crumble flavor. I forget the other ones as they had on top of that, but they were all very sort of British recipes. But yeah, crumble is great. That's a really nice thing. But yeah, when Harry has all these things like fish and chips, fish pie, cottage pie, all of those things is really good. And I don't know if you saw our video when we went to platform 9 3/4 in King's Cross, the shop, but I did actually buy a butter beer. They do it in bottles now, and that was really good. You don't get the ice cream on top, unfortunately, which you do if you go to Harry Potter World. But yeah, the actual butter beer was so good. I might actually go back there this weekend and get some more because that was that good. Minnie said, "Oh, I couldn't get a spot, but my grandmother sometimes makes traditional British and Scottish dishes because of our background. My dad's side is Scottish." Oh, okay. Yeah. If you can, get your gran to make a sponge. So a traditional sponge. You can get a treacle sponge. So what treacle sponge, you probably know, is you basically get your bowl and you put loads of treacle at the base of the bowl. And then you put your batter mixture in. Now the batter mixture is very much like a cake. So when it cooks, it turns into a cake. So what you do is you get that bowl and you put a lid on top of that. Normally it's something like foil or parchment paper. And then you put that, and the best way to do it is boil it. So you make sure you boil it in a bain-marie, but you don't want any water to get into that sponge because otherwise it will ruin the sponge. So all the steam cooks the sponge. And what happens is it takes about 2-3 hours, or 2.5 to 3 hours to cook. So it does take a long time, but it's worth it. When you turn that sponge, all that treacle will melt in and seep into that sponge. And then you have that with custard. Try that, Minnie. Try that. Your grandmother will know exactly how to make it. Minnie said, "Oh, and she's made something similar, not exactly the same, but it was good." It does take a while to make, but they are really good. Your grandmother will know. She'll know the recipes I'm talking about. But it's really, really good. Lovely, lovely food. So what desserts would you guys recommend other than the donuts? So from Singapore and from Canada, what desserts would you guys recommend? So with the British ones, as I said, sticky toffee pudding is one of my favorites. Kelly's not a big fan of it, but I really, really like it. If I was to go out, I would order it. It's got to have the dates in it. If you don't like dates, you probably won't like the sticky toffee pudding, but that's one big one. Obviously, like the brownie, we would have something like the crumble as well. That's delicious. Pie, cherry pie, apple pie, all of that stuff. Anything like with a pie is delicious as well. Kelly started getting back into watching Supernatural, so I'm getting glimpses of it. And it's funny there as well. I think I told you guys as well, I bought the Supernatural cookbook because I did a few recipes from it. And at the back, there's recipes for Dean, because Dean likes all his pies. You've got cherry pie, apple pie, pumpkin pie, all these recipes for pie. So at some point, I will have another go at cooking a pie. Not sure which one I'll do. I might try all of them, might try one of them, but I will definitely try one of the cherry pies, one of the apple pies, or one of the other types of pies. So Spark says, "Are you familiar with pandan? Anything with pandan is amazing." No, what's pandan? I'm intrigued. What is pandan? Now, is that a sauce? Is that a type of dessert? Is it? I'm interested. Hang on. I've got my tablet. Now, I should do this more often, actually, is have my tablet right here so I can actually Google these things while you guys are doing. Minnie said, "Oh, never mind. She made a treacle sponge when I was like 4." So a while ago. Now I'm looking for a photo, and yes, it was good. I remember. You can remember it back from when you were 4. That's really impressive. I was going to say, yeah, not everybody's into those things as well, but I do love sponges, and a crumble, like you say, is really good. So I'm just going to Google pandan. Oh, it says here it's a plum. Is that right? Oh no, what is a pandan flavour? Pandan is a naturally sweet taste and soft aroma. Its flavour is strong, described as grassy with hints of rose, almond, and vanilla, verging on coconut. Pandan is shared aroma compound with basmati rice. So some cooks looking to save money will flavour rice with pandan. Ah, okay. So it's a plant. Is that right? I think Nigella Lawson called pandan the next food trend. So you like Nigella Lawson? Do you get Nigella Lawson over in Singapore? but my grandmother hasn't made anything traditional in a while, so did it more with me with my cousins when we were younger, but not so much now. Oh, I see, Minnie. So your grandmother made a lot more things when you guys were younger. That makes sense. I feel like Spurs when I tried to describe pandan. Oh my god! Do you know what? It's just saying here. The description here is as I said. So it says it's grassy with slight vanilla, almost verging on coconut. It's got a very sweet taste, which you can use to flavour things. Do you know what? I probably something I'd have to taste. It's very difficult to describe. So it hasn't. You said it hasn't made it for a while. Yeah, I got that. Sorry, me. I thought that was what you said. No, don't worry. It's a typo. I've done those myself as well, especially with also correct, because sometimes it does it. Sorry, Sparks. Going back to what you were saying. Yes, sometimes I find that it's very difficult to describe something to somebody who's never tried it, and that's something that was always very, very difficult to say. I'd recommend. Is it onde? I can't pronounce that. Is it onde? I'm going to do a bad job on describing it. All right, let me have a look at this. If I pronounce that properly, I probably butchered it again. Yes, onde. Where is it now? I've lost the thing. Recommend it on. Ah, that's why. Onde. Or called klepon, is that right? Or klepon? Kelepon is a snack of sweet rice cake balls filled with molten palm sugar and coated even in grated coconut. Of Javanese origin, the green color glutinous rice balls are one of the most popular traditional cue in Indonesian cuisine. Ah, okay. And they look like little green balls covered in coconut. Yeah, that's it. I wonder where I can get these. Infused dough and filled with gula melaka, is that right? Or palm sugar. You roll them, right, okay. Oh, they've got, do you know what? Actually, as I was Googling this as well, they've got some other stuff as well. Cuputu, is that right? Lupis. They've got I'm probably butchering the names. I'm so sorry. You have to put it in your mouth and then basically burst them with palm sugar syrup. Oh, that sounds fantastic. Do you know what? That sounds very similar to an Indian sweet. It does sound very similar. You know, you get like with gulab jamun and stuff like that. When you actually bite into it, that flavor just bursts out as well. That sounds amazing. Do you know what? There's actually very similar to, well, I say similar to, there's a Greek dish. And what they do is they get sort of dough balls, so sort of dough, but a very sort of bready dough. And they take these dough and they soak them in honey. So you get lots of honey. And over the hours, the dough absorbs all that honey taste. So when you take it, they're really, really sticky. You need to have cloth or something like that, you know, to wipe your hands because it's so sticky. But that's really popular. And it sounds, obviously it's not quite the same because you're not using honey, but that sort of texture, it sounds very similar to that. There's some really nice, I'm just looking on the web here, you've got some really nice treats here actually in Singapore. They've got one, is it onde? There's another one here, which is steamed grated coconut. That sounds quite nice. I'm just looking here at the recipe. I might have a look through some of these. When I finish it, I'm not gonna keep going on that because otherwise I'll end up getting distracted. But that looks really, really good. You've actually got me thinking now for Singapore food. I think I might have a little look through this and have a check. And do you make them yourself, or are they really, really difficult? Would you go buy them? Hello, Sienna. How are you? You good? I'm on my own today. So, yeah, we're just talking about food. We're just talking about Singapore food. And I learned some new ones as well. And also as well, Minnie's, I say Minnie's mini donuts. So the little donuts as well. So I've learned some really good new things here actually to try. I'm going to have to try and get hold of some of these. Is Singapore food as well? I'm just trying to think of the influence. because some of these look not the same, but they've got some very sort of similar feels to Indian sweets as well. But they look delicious. Hello, Vina. How are you? You good? Oh, you're off school till September, so that's it now. Not you, Vina. Sorry, Sienna's off to school till September. How are you doing? How are things? Do you know, we've just been talking for the last hour about Indian desserts, Singapore desserts, British desserts. So we've been doing a real sweet fest today. Oh, so Spark says you definitely can't make them on your own, or I'd love to give it a go someday. Thank you. Every day is very accessible here from the shop, so that's good. Oh, good, Vina. I'm really glad you're good. Do you know what? I was just talking about, we were talking about making sweets. I had a go many years ago at making ras malai. So I actually bought a packet mix. So I'm not even pretend, and I messed it up. I made a real mess of it. But it wasn't until a friend of mine, Indian friend of mine, told me. He said, "Look, Mark, don't attempt it because it's really difficult. You're best off going to a restaurant and having it." So going back to what Sparks was saying as well, I know what you're saying. It's one of those sweets that are very, very difficult to make unless you have a go. So what am I doing for the weekend? Actually, about Sienna, I don't know what I'm doing for the weekend. I was just talking earlier actually about my video where we went to the O2. But you know, it was I don't know. We're tempted to go back there. For anybody living in the UK, so Sienna, that will be you. It's supposed to be very warm here. Actually, in fact, Vina as well, because you're in Reading, so it's going to be really warm this weekend. It's supposed to be a really, really nice weekend. So if we've got something planned, barbecue or something, this weekend's definitely the week to do it, because it's supposed to be really, really warm. Spark said, I guess the main influences in Singapore are from China, Indonesia, Malaysia, and South India. Yeah, that would make sense, actually. That would make sense. But those dishes you were just telling me look really, really good. The onde looks nice. It does look nice. And I do like coconut. I'm a really big coconut fan. Spark said, yeah, me watching from Singapore. Oh, yeah, it's going to be really warm this weekend. Yeah. You're sitting there going, yeah, but I'm from Singapore. So yeah, the reason why I say that, Spark, is it's rarely nice during the weekend in England. We get like 8 months of winter, and then eventually you get some nice days. So everybody just charges out to the beach or to get out because it's quite rare. It's quite a rarity. Yeah, so you're probably sitting in Singapore going, what's the weather like there, by the way, in Singapore? Is it good? And Vima, have you had a nice day today in Reading? How was the weather with you? It's been really good here in London today. It's a beautiful day. I'm just looking outside now because that's my window, and it's well, it was cloudless skies for most of the day. Mark, when do you want to go to Bromley? Oh yes. We will definitely do the Bromley thing because we owe you ice cream. We owe you ice cream. I did say we get you ice cream, so we will do an ice cream thing. I'll chat with your mum, and then we'll see about what we can do about arranging a trip to go get ice cream, because that would be cool. And I love an ice cream. Vima said for you, it's very hot today. Yeah, it was really warm. Were you working today, or did you have the day off? Did you manage to get out in the sun? I just say it's nice and sunny, and when I'm working from home, that's the thing. You just don't get to go outside. You look out your window and go, oh well, you just plow on with work. So I do hope you manage to get some sun. But like I said, it's the weekend. Hopefully you can get out with the family and get to enjoy Reading. Or if you're going to go anywhere, there's a really good time to go somewhere. From Reading, I think you can get some really trains across to, I don't know if you've explored the UK or managed to have the chance to, but there's some really, on your train line for Reading, you can actually get to Bath. I really recommend going to Bath. It's a really nice city to visit. You may have been already, but from Reading, it's probably about an hour on the train, hour and 20 minutes maybe. So it's quite good. Spark said, oh my God, so envious. Sounds like it's going to be a fun outing. What about you then, Sparks? What have you got planned for the weekend? You managed to get out? Are you going to go anywhere? Well, your weekend started already because it's probably about, what was it, 1:30, 2 a.m. for you. So if you've got anything planned, anything nice you're going to do, Anybody got anything else they're going to do? Sorry, I didn't mean to jog the table. Anything else they got nice planned for the weekend? I'd love to know, because you can give me some ideas. So we will do some more videos. Actually, it sounds like you guys want us to do some more restaurant bits. Oh, Vima said my weekend celebration started at 4:30. Good for you. Logged on the office. Good for you. I think more people should do that actually on a Friday. I'm really pleased you did logged off as well. Spend some time, get a nice long weekend. You can get to enjoy. Really good. My son just completed his homework. Good. So there you are. So even he's ready for the weekend. You're ready for the weekend? Ready for the weekend? You guys going to go anywhere nice? You're going to stay in Reading? Going to go out somewhere? Or you're just going to relax at home? Be safe, whatever you do. Of course, infection rates they're talking are starting to rise. So be careful. But yeah, I hope you have a great weekend. Minnie, I'm having a barbecue at my grandmother's house on Sunday. And yeah, that will be fun. Oh, fantastic. Oh, I might do a barbecue actually. That, you just give me an idea. Oh, Sparks, you usually work the weekends, but it's all good. So you're working all weekends. Do you normally have your days off during the week? Vima said, so we are getting ready to go to Cosmos in Reading. Oh, Cosmos. Is Cosmos the buffet restaurant? Is that the one I'm thinking of? I know it is. If it is, if it's what you're thinking, you're going to have a great time. Yes, it is. I thought so. Oh, Vima, I'm jealous. Do you know what? I've not been to Cosmos in a long, long time. I love the fact as well. So for anybody watching that doesn't know, I know I've got our Canadian friends, our Singapore friends, all our friends around the world. Cosmos is actually a buffet restaurant in the UK. There's one in Reading. There's one in Croydon. There's a few around the UK. And what they do is they do cuisines from all around the world. So you go around the buffet, you've got Chinese food, you've got, I think they've got Indian food, they've got British food, of course, Italian food. You go, oh, and Evelyn's going for a picnic in Green Park tomorrow. Nice. So Green Park, are you going to go? For those of you who aren't familiar with Green Park in London, Green Park is not too far from Buckingham Palace. It's right next to the Ritz, the world famous Ritz Hotel. And I think Evelyn should treat herself to some champagne at the Ritz, because I think that's what she deserves. But yeah, Green Park is quite a nice little park in London as well. Very close to Buckingham Palace, as I say, very close to the very world famous Ritz Hotel. So it sounds fantastic. Oh, and Minnie, you're doing your animation homework. How's your animation going, by the way? How are things going? Are you enjoying your course? I'm really pleased that you're doing that, actually. You sound like you're really, really enjoying it. So that's really good. So you're just doing a bit of homework now as well. So that gives you the free weekend, or you have to do a little bit. So like you, I'm going to have to do a bit of study this weekend, unfortunately. I didn't want to, but I'm going to have to do a little bit, but that's just the way it is. But I think I shall have to get out and enjoy this weather, because it does look fantastic. Really, really nice. Just to get out as well. I keep looking out, just thinking, oh, look at that, look at that. So Green Park, we got Cosmos. Poor old, I said, old. Poor Sparks is working. Sienna may or may not be going into London. But Vima, the Cosmos thing, I really hope you have a good time. I haven't been there for such a long time. Tomorrow we're going to Strawberry Farm after my son's grammar school coaching tuition, and Sunday we'll go for a ride anywhere. Ah, so with your Strawberry Farm, are you actually going strawberry picking? I've not done that in a long time. Sienna says she's so bored at home. Well, we'll fix that, Sienna. We'll do that. I will get Kelly to phone your mum. So we will look to do that if you're bored. Minnie said, it's so good. I really enjoy it. And I'm not doing it tonight because I have a little left. So tonight is going to be finished. So I can have a free weekend, which would be good. Oh, Vima, yes. Oh, good. I'm really glad. I'm really glad you're enjoying Cosmos. Just as soon as you said Cosmos, what is that Cosmos? The buffet place? But yeah, really good. I hope you enjoy it. Do you know what as well, Vima? I don't know if they still do it. Last time I went to Cosmos, you've got the chocolate fountains. So you have all the chocolate fountains as well. They've got the marshmallows, fruit pieces on the skewer. Now I know this may have changed obviously because of the pandemic and what you can and can't help yourself to, but you used to be able to go there and just dip all those things in the chocolate fountain. And then you go around to the dessert station and they would have sweets. So jelly beans, all of those. You've just helped yourself to those. But one of my favorite desserts. Oh yes, Sparks, one of my favorite desserts. I forgot to mention it. Eton mess. Eton mess is my favorite dessert. If you don't know what Eton mess is, Eton mess, for those of you not aware, is a English thing named after Eton College. And it is where you get meringue. So you get meringue, you crunch that up into a bowl, you add cream, you add strawberries, chopped up strawberries, and you mix it in. It's called mess because you mix it in as to a mess. Some people do add strawberry sauce in that to swirl it through. Now you can add different types of fruit. Some people do add cherries, some people do add black currants as well to give it a little bit of a zing. But that is my favorite dessert. And the reason why, Vima, you just reminded me, is they do have Eton mess at Cosmos. I do remember that. I loved eating that. Love eating that. Sienna said, I'm not doing anything for the weekend. All right, we will contact. Vima said, yes, that's the first time for my son. So excited to see his smile and shocked expression. Do you know what? What I love, I'll tell you this was quite funny. I will come on to that, Sparks. I'll tell you about Eton mess in a second. When I went to Cosmos many years ago, as I was walking past the chocolate fountain, there's a big chocolate fountain, there were all these children sat there just in shock and awe of it, just to watch chocolate just fill. And it's so funny, you see all these children with just chocolate all over there, where they've obviously dipped it in the chocolate. Why not? Why not? Absolutely fantastic. But they just in awe of this chocolate fountain. They normally have one or two on them there as well. So I really hope your son gets to go there and dip fruit or marshmallow, whatever he wants, into the chocolate fountain. Okay, it must be Eton mess. That's it, because of the college name. That's it. That's exactly it, Sparks. That's it. So it was named after the college, Eton mess. That is my favorite dessert. If ever I'm in a restaurant and they've got that, that is what I'll order. Love Eton mess. I love, it's just the meringue. So it's that meringue and strawberries and cream is a very British thing anyway, but I love having that strawberries, cream, and the meringue pieces all swirled together. That is, for me, is my favorite dessert. And yeah, it's named after the college. Exactly right, Sparks. That's why they called it Eton mess. So Vima, I'm just really jealous. I really do hope you have a good time though. In Cosmos. I really hope you do as well. They've got they do the little square desserts. It reminded me a bit like Las Vegas. So when you go to Las Vegas buffet, they have all these tiny little desserts there, and you can just get the tray and help yourself. So I'm assuming they'll keep that, because obviously it's not people touching things and serving themselves, which is really good. Spark said, I love discovering new food. Yeah, me too, from around the world. This is such an interesting new piece of info. Do you know what? It's one of those things. I must pick your brain. I really like to pick your brain, because if I was to serve up Singapore food, people just go, oh wow, what's this, but you know, it's fascinating. When I love going to new countries, love discovering new foods, and it really is just to give it a try something different, try something new. Yeah, Avima said otherwise plan for you this weekend. Do you know what, you've just got me thinking, actually, should I might ask Kelly if she wants to go to Cosmos, actually. Thank you, Vima. I'm glad you mentioned that, actually, because I would like to. I do really want to go. Earlier, you asked about marzipan. Have you ever tried princess cake? Yes. Oh, yes. Now, we have something called Dundee cake. Now, Dundee cake is yeah, Kelly will really enjoy Cosmos. She will really enjoy that, because I think it's the variety, and Kelly loves that variety. So, and I love going there as well. You can get a plate full of Chinese food, Indian food, you know, Italian food, all different types of food. You can just have all at once, and I love that, having that. It's the variety. It's love having the variety, and the quality is really good. Sorry, going back to the angel cake. Sorry, not angel cake. Sorry, what were you talking about? Princess cake. Yes, there's vanilla princess cake I've tried, and I have tried. Is that the one with the marzipan in the middle? No, I might be mixing it up with something else. There's princess cupcake, which is an American one. But Dundee cake is very much like, I don't know if you tried Christmas cake or what they call fruit cake here in the UK. It's a lot of raisins and currants and stuff like that. But they put marzipan in the middle and marzipan on the top. and traditionally you have it as for Easter in the UK. So it's called Dundee cake, like the city, Dundee. Vima says, okay, really enjoy. Yeah, lots of variety. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, we were talking about earlier, we were talking about marzipan, which is one of my loves. Kelly hates marzipan, but I love. It's the almond in it. Have you guys had, so this will be interesting actually, Sparks, if you, another traditional English thing that's served here is afternoon tea. So that's where you have sandwiches and then cakes. Now, not everybody likes afternoon tea because some people, it's expensive and you are just having sandwiches. So some people don't want to spend all that money on sandwiches, but the cakes are amazing. Oh, it's Swedish. I got it mixed up. I thought it was American. So Princess cake is a Swedish cake with raspberry jam, vanilla custard, and whipped cream in the middle, covered with marzipan. No, I got it mixed up with vanilla. There's something called vanilla princess cake, which is slightly different, which is an American one, but that's different. I didn't realize it was a Swedish cake. Oh, well, I'll have to try that. That sounds amazing. I do like rainbow cake, which is the multi-layers of cake with that. But I'm not really a big fan of butter frosting, but this butter frosting, oh, it's unbelievable. It's vanilla butter frosting that you have in the middle, and you make it with butter. So you get your butter, you whip that up to it's really almost like a light batter, really light, and then you add your vanilla extract, the vanilla paste. You add lots of sugar, but the idea is you add powdered sugar or what we call icing sugar, so that it's a very, very, very thin sugar. So it turns it into like a cream. Delicious, so good, so bad for you, but so good. Yeah, with the marzipan though, absolutely amazing. So if people were going for cake, and I know Vima, you're going for, I'm going to get you in the mood now for your Cosmos. What cake do people like? Oh, Minnie said my grandmother did that for me and my cousins once, afternoon tea, and we went to Chile to see my mum's side of the family. They do afternoon tea at Chile. Oh, wow. So I got every day with sandwiches. And oh yes, afternoon tea is so much fun. I adore scones. Yeah, I love scones as well. Everyday sandwiches and cakes and sweets. Hi Emma. Hello. Emma said, is the marzipan sometimes coloured green or Swedish princess cake? Oh yeah, and Spark said yes, it is. It's usually coloured green. Oh, so you guys have seen that as well. I'm going to have to get hold of some of this. There's a cake shop actually near us. And they do, it's actually a French patisserie, but they do different types of cake. So I'm going to see that you've got me thinking now as well. I love marzipan. That mixture of marzipan, raspberry jam, vanilla custard, that sounds unbelievable. And it's called vanilla, the Swedish princess cake. Is that what it's called? Swedish princess cake. That sounds really good. So I'm going to see if they do that one as well. I love as well. I quite like the pastries as well. So one of my favorites is what we call custard slice or millefeuille. So you've got the layer of pastry, then the layer of custard, then a layer of pastry, then a layer of custard, then a layer of pastry, and on top you've got your icing sugar. So that's one of my little things as well. Obviously with the donuts as well. But if I'm going for a cake, I'm going to have to say I would either go, love carrot cake, which is one of my favorites. And I know it's not for everybody. Coffee and walnut cake. I love coffee cake. There's something about coffee and walnut cake. It's just amazing. I do like the sort of, there is an Eton mess cake you can buy, believe it or not, which is very similar to a Victoria sponge, which is just a plain sponge, cream and jam in the middle. But that is amazing. Oh, Vima said, my son really loves sandwiches and cake. That's because he's a man with taste. Because who does not love cake? That and sandwiches, delicious. Spark said, millefeuille. I believe I've heard Gordon Ramsay say it quite a few times, probably on MasterChef. Yeah, so that's all millefeuille is really. In English, it's just that we would call it custard slice. It really is. You get the puff pastry, so very layer of thin paste. Millefeuille translates as many layers. So the actual layers of the pastry has got loads on it. So you'd have that layer of pastry, which has got tiny, tiny inside, loads and loads of different layers. It's very light, crumbles. And you have a layer of that custard on there. So like a very sort of vanilla custard. and then you put another thin layer of that of the pastry, then another layer of the custard, then the last layer of your pastry, and then, like I said, you just have the icing sugar on top. It's really, it's really good. That's really good. Vima said, I'm going to say that carrot cake. Oh, so you're a carrot cake fan is too. There you are. Fist bump, fist bump. Love carrot cake. That with the drink. Now, I don't know if you're the same as me, but if I have cake, I've got to have it with tea or coffee. It's got to be with something. I wouldn't have cake just on its own. It's got to be with tea or coffee. That together, amazing. Spark said, do you both like watching cooking and baking shows, by the way? I love them so much. Yes, I do. I'm going to go on to my favorites in a second. Minnie said, oh, I like carrot cake. I find it good. And yeah, not I'm going to get into others, but I like there's too many. Yeah, that's true. And Sparks, yeah, carrot cake, the best cake to me. Right, Sparks, what? Yes, I do like cooking shows. I do watch a lot. In the UK, our favourite ones as well, Vima will know as well, because you might have seen these as well. Minnie, I don't know if you get these in Canada. And Sparks, I don't know if you get them. Emma will know as well. Emma said my favourite cake we can call is passion cake. It's basically carrot with banana, raisin, and I've not tried that. So is that a mix between banana cake and carrot cake? Passion cake. I've not. I love walnuts as well. Walnuts in a cake. Walnut and coffee cake is delicious. There's something about that as well. One of my favourites is the Big Family Cooking Show. Oh, we've not got that on the UK. Big Family Cooking. We have MasterChef, but obviously, and on UK TV, you do get the Australian one, the American one, and obviously the British one. The big one in the UK is Bake Off. So there's 3 Bake Offs in the UK. So Bake Off, for those of you who haven't seen it, is basically you get loads of amateurs are cook in a tent. Basically, they all get their own little place, and they compete with each other to cook different challenges. So they might say to them, right, your first recipe today, you've got to bake 12 scones, and they've got to bake the scones as well. But they'll ask them to do a twist, like add something to them. So there's the regular bake-off with amateurs. They do professional bake-offs, which Kelly loves because she likes to see the where the chefs are coming from. So if she likes some, they'll go, oh, let's go there, let's go there. So we try and go to the London-based ones. And there's a junior bake-off for children. I don't know if you guys watch it as well. Come Dine With Me. I know it's not everybody's favourite one. Mark hates it. Mark with a C, who comes on watches us here sometimes, but I really like Come Dine With Me, which is where you get 4 people. They go around to each other's houses, and each person has to host a dinner party, and each person scores them at the end of the night, and the best one wins £1,000. That's one of my favourite. And then of course you've got the traditional ones, like Gordon Ramsay has his own, Nigella Bites, Nadia Hussein, which I do like watching. She's really good. And there's a few others as well that I keep watching. Saturday Kitchen oh, Vima, you're starting to go there. Oh, Vima, have a fantastic time. Thank you for coming. I hope you have a really good time as well. Please join us next week and let us know how it went. I'll be asking you a lot of questions about your meal. Oh, and your son says hi. We'll say hi to your son as well and tell him to enjoy that cake and enjoy the chocolate fountain, or whatever dessert he's going to have. Have a really good weekend. Spark said, oh, I've read about the Great British Bake Off heat wave problem. Yeah. Well, they do. The competition is always in the height of summer, so they always have that problem. If you get a chance, they are on YouTube. All of these are on YouTube if you do want to watch them. Emma said, some of the cakes on Bake Off are spectacular. Come Dine With Me is entertaining, but sometimes makes me cringe at the rivalries. Yeah, Emma, my favourite one, I've got to say, and it did make me laugh, was this guy created his own recipe. I don't know why. I was in hysterics. I couldn't stop laughing. And the guy did what he called a ploughman's starter. So anyone who doesn't know, ploughman's lunch is basically a salad. And it is a traditional British salad. You would have things like big wedges of cheese, pickled onions. You'd have salad, lettuce, all of these things basically. His ploughman's starter, he basically moulded cheese into a shape. And he put pickle in the middle, and then he covered it with cheese, and then took it out of this mold and served it. And the guy said, yeah, he goes, I can't get the cheese soft. So I worked out a way. So he grated it, put it in a bag, and he stuck it in his pocket for the whole day. So his body heat, softened it. So of course, Dave Lamb, who does the commentaries, is so funny. When he served it, he said, "Here it is, Plowman's thing, complete with pocket fluff," which you can imagine because he's kept his cheese in his pocket. I don't know why that made me laugh so much. Yeah, Vima said, "Have a good weekend." Also, yeah, have a fantastic weekend. Have a great time for this weekend. Convey my wishes to Kelly, please. I will do, Vima. Thank you so much for coming. Really appreciate your support. Lovely to see you again, and have a fantastic weekend. Minnie said packet cheese. Yeah, well, you would have thought he would have done packet cheese, but no, he put it in a bag, he put it in his pocket, and he let that sit in there for ages. I think that would put me off. But yeah, no, I do, going back to the Bake Off one, I must admit I am a bit of a fan of Bake Off. Kelly and I do watch it. But we do like the professional ones as well. That's with Benoit and Sherry. So Benoit's the French chef. And they obviously get so they'll get chefs from top hotels to actually go around as well, to be in the competition. But obviously the standard is really, really high. So they set the benchmark really high because you are a professional chef. So with Bake Off, you can kind of get, it's obviously easier recipes, but these ones, they expect perfection. Sorry, pocket, not packet, also correct. It's really me. Yeah, exactly. Pocket cheese, wonderful. That I don't know why I was laughing so much at that episode. It was so funny. I don't know why it was so funny. Just my sense of humor, I'm afraid, guys. That is just it. Spark said, "Have you seen £1 Million Menu? I love finding out more about the taste preferences of the British puff." I've not seen that one. Is that actually a British show? I've not heard of £1 Million Menu. Emma, have you heard of that £1 Million Menu? They did one. I remember. I've seen Great British Menu, which is where they get top chefs have to do a starter, main, and dessert, and the winner gets to do a banquet. Marco Pierre White, the chef as well, he did one where they challenged him to do a big menu for a big audience, and he had to do a vote which dishes he did starter, main, and dessert best encapsulated British food. But I've not heard of £1 Million Menu. I'll have to Google it. After this, I'll Google it and have a look. If there are some on there, I'll go on YouTube and have a little look. But yeah, no, I think Spark said is on Netflix about people who are looking for financial backers for their own. Oh, so is it a bit like Dragon's Den or Shark Tank? So Dragon's Den, I don't know if you've seen that. There's a British show where entrepreneurs come up and they ask for funding. So it sounds very similar like that for a business idea. So that sounds like Dragon's Den. In the United States, it's called Shark Tank. So it's the same concept, but it's called Shark Tank. So is it the same thing? So you'd actually go in with your restaurant business and do it. So they get a shot of trying out for an idea of a high street for a couple of days. Emma said, "I've not heard of £1 Million Menu, but it sounds good." Yeah, it does sound like that, Emma, actually. It sounds like Dragon's Den, but for restaurants. So you picture, is that right, Sparks? You picture you pitch your restaurant idea to the panel, and they decide whether or not they're gonna present it. Is that right? And then somebody invests in that restaurant. That's what it sounds like to me. That does sound a really good idea, actually. Wish I'd thought of it. But that does sound really, really good. I'll have to have a look at that £1 Million Menu. And you say it's on Netflix. I've got Netflix, so I'm gonna have a little look at that later and have a look see. I always thought actually that would be a good concept idea. If you could actually do that, if you could take like a food, I know you do that, you kind of do that in MasterChef anyway. You invent a recipe and then you give it to the judges. But if you could pattern your recipe things, you come up with the next food idea. That does sound good. Some of the concepts that people do are weird, but yeah, Spark says, "Oh yeah, it's similar, but we get to see them try it running their restaurant for lunch and dinner services." Ah, that's interesting. Do you guys like, so talking of cooking shows, do you like the more competitive ones? Now, what I mean by that is, well, so things like MasterChef, things like Hell's Kitchen. I don't know if anybody's seen that with Gordon Ramsay. I'm not sure. I think with Hell's Kitchen, they did another version here. So it originally started with Gordon Ramsay here. Of course, then he went to the United States and took it over there. And then Marco Pierre White ran it over here for a little while. Spark said she loves Hell's Kitchen because it's an entertaining mess. Do you know what? I've got to say, I love the way they just all round on each other. So you've got Gordon Ramsay swearing and shouting at them. And then then obviously they cut away to the cooks, all the chefs that are actually in the restaurant. And they start saying, I don't know what Tony's doing. Tony should have been doing it. It's his fault. It's his fault. I'm blaming him. And they always do that cutaway to the chefs, so they blame each other. Do you know what? I know not everybody's like that, but like Gordon Ramsay, there's something about Gordon Ramsay I do like. I do enjoy watching. I'm not going to lie, I do enjoy watching Hell's Kitchen, and I did used to like watching Kitchen Nightmares. If anybody watched that as well, where he would go into a failing restaurant and try and. I know it's all very samey, but I did enjoy doing that. Minnie said, "Yeah, like those shows, like Hell's Kitchen, MasterChef." Minnie said that's the type of cooking show you like. So you do like that with a bit of interaction, almost like reality cooking show, really. Spark said every time you think Gordon's going to emulate someone, he turns it around and says, "Get back in line and get your act together." Yeah, eliminate someone. That's true. You think he's going to go somewhere, and he goes, "Do you think you should be here?" No, right, I agree. Get back in line. I don't know if anybody did watch Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares. It started in the UK and he took it to the United States, but he'd go to a failing restaurant. But the state of some of those kitchens, there are rats everywhere, rodents, they've got cooked food on top of raw food, stuff that's out of date. It just really wants to put you off. Emma said, I always think professional kitchens look super stressful, so I kind of prefer the laid-back one cooking shows. Gordon is amusing though, and Kitchen Nightmares is funny and shocking. Do you know, I'm just thinking that, Emma. That thing as well, some of them as well. I mean, there's one where he picked up a dead mouse outside and took it out of the that. And you think he's just eaten there as well. He has lunch there. Then he spends the day looking around the kitchen. Spark says, yeah, Kitchen Nightmares. Did you watch them? The Mama Sherry's episode. What one was that? What was Mama Sherry? I've seen lots of them, but I can't remember each individual one. I probably have them. And if not, I might go on YouTube after this and watch it. Minnie said, I saw Kitchen Nightmares on YouTube. It's so funny, the thing Gordon says. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I know I shouldn't laugh. I know it's bad to laugh at people, but some people are so clueless how they cook, how they open a restaurant. And they're so deluded. They have a menu with terrible food. They're thousands in debt, and they can't see how they got to that state. That's the one where he loved the food. Oh, is that the one? There's been several where he liked the food. Now there was one. There's only ever been one episode. I don't know if it's that one where he actually walked out because the owners just wouldn't do. The owners kept all his tips, waiter and waitresses tips, and the woman just refused to work. Just won't work. In the end, he walked out. He said, "I just can't do that one." I don't know if it's that one. Because he walked in, the kitchen was immaculate, everything was immaculate, all the desserts, he tried them. He said, these are fantastic. He goes, what's going wrong? But he realised they argued with the customers. And he said, that's why they had nobody there. Emma said, Gordon must feel really scared having to eat in those places. Yeah, I know. Can you imagine? Because you've got to eat there first. Then you go check out the kitchen afterwards. But if you just had stuff with rotting food, I mean, there's been things where there's mould on the food. Spark said he cleaned his plate and went back to say it was delicious, but when the restaurant was finished, but she wasn't good at running a business. I think it might be that one. I think it is the same one with the one he walks out of in the end. Minnie said, oh, that I find funny when the lady started belly dancing. Oh yeah, what's that? Everyone's trying to enjoy their meal, and she's quite a curvaceous lady, let's just put it that way, and she's doing this while everybody's trying to eat. She's doing and locked himself in the cooler. Yeah, I remember that one. People were eating. They couldn't understand what's going on. They're just trying to, what's going on? Am I eating? Am I doing? It's not the sort of thing you want to watch. Spark said, no, not that one. Oh, the moment. That was Amy's Baking Company. Yes, you're right. Mama Cherry's was from the UK. No, I'll have. Oh, Mama Cherry. That was in Brighton. Yes. Caribbean food. Yeah, she if it's the one I'm thinking about, Mummy Cherries was, yeah, it was in Brighton. She was serving Caribbean food, and I think it was the same one as well. She did so well after Gordon helped her that because she was in financial difficulty, she actually made so much money. She bought next door, so she's now got she's got a double restaurant there in Brighton. I'm sure that's the one. I'm sure that's the one, Mary. Yeah, because and when she ate it. Oh right, she was in Brighton. Now she has her own YouTube channel now. Oh right, okay. When she liked it, she was doing this when he ate the food, because he came back into the kitchen with a clean plate. I did see that one. Yeah, I did see that one. That was a good episode. Yeah, Amy's Bakery, and I do remember that one as well. That's why she was. That woman was something else. She talked to her cats. He was saying that. She was saying how her cats respond. She goes, "If the cat does this, it means he's happy. If the cat," I said, "What on earth?" But anyway, each into their own. But yes, I do remember that episode. I do remember that episode. That was quite good. I hope all these restaurants survived the pandemic. I really do, because some of them were teetering on the edge. But yeah, that one, I do remember it being in Brighton. Yeah, that's really interesting. You get to see all those ones, the UK ones and the US ones as well. I know they're on YouTube as well, but I do try and catch them now and again. But yeah, that one I have seen. It's the same one that's in Brighton. But yeah, I do like those episodes. There's something about them. There was he did another one. I don't know if you guys have seen. Very similar concept, but he did it for hotels. So I mean, it's the same thing as well. Rather than going to a restaurant and turning them around, he would go into a failing hotel. But this is all in the United States. I think he did most of these. So he would go into a hotel, and he would do everything. So it wouldn't just be the catering; it would be the catering, the hotel itself. So how the decor was, how the beds was, how the reception area was, all the things, and he would then turn those around as well. Minnie said also the waiting staff didn't get to keep the tips. Yeah, that was right. That was Amy's Bakery, and they were making. They had to give him to Amy's husband. That was crazy. That's really bad, because I know in the United States it's quite poorly paid waiting. So waiters and waitresses make their money from tips. They really rely on the tipping industry. So I think for an owner to keep the tips, that's not on at all. That is not on. And of course, customers give tips because they know that's how the waiters and waitresses do that. So, and I think he called him out on it, didn't he? He actually said to one of the customers, "Sir, did you know the owner takes your tip, doesn't give it to the waiter?" And he said, "No, I didn't know that." So yeah, I'm glad he called him out on that. Spark said, "I haven't really watched Hotel Hell." That was it. Yes, Hotel Hell. It would put me off traveling forever. Well, this is it. I'm gonna say what goes. People that have worked in hotels do say there's a lot that goes on in hotels you just wouldn't know about. If anybody's interested, I think the world's busiest hotel is the Venetian in Las Vegas, and Channel 5 in the UK did a documentary on it. And they've got thousands and thousands of staff that work there. They get something ridiculous like 10,000 employees or 10,000 guests. I forget what period of time, but it's the world's busiest hotel. It makes more money than a lot of big chains. That's how much money it is. Minnie said, "Oh, Hotel Hell. I saw the one where the guy wanted his hotel to look like a car or something like that." I was going, "Oh my God," I saw a few other Hotel Hell episodes too. There are some weird ones as well. There was, talking of Brighton, there was a guy actually that set a hotel. I was talking about this a few lives ago, and he was saying the same thing. He wanted it to look this sort of spectacular thing. So he had false animal heads, not real ones, or stuffed ones, but for all over the walls. And he wanted like leopard skin and stuff like that. It was unusual. Minnie said, yeah, he called him out on taking the waiter's tips, but he still didn't give them. No, he didn't. I remember that. Even after being called out on it, he still kept them. Back to staff. They're so bad on a business practice and the horrible way of treating the staff. And in actual fact, Minnie, I think he fired one of the staff members for challenging him. I'm pretty sure he did that. I'm pretty sure he did actually fire one of them because for actually challenging it. So Yes, I do remember that as well. Not a nice guy as well. I don't know if you knew, but that guy tried to make money off the episode. So on their website, on Amy's Bakery website, and I don't know if, I think they're still going. He was selling merchandise with quotes from the thing. So I think he called himself the Godfather or something. He said that, so you could buy a T-shirt that said "I am the Godfather" and things like that. So he tried to make money from the show, even though they never finished it. Minnie said, yeah, he fired her because she wanted her tips. Yeah, that was right. So not only, and I don't think she complained. I think she told Gordon Ramsay, and Gordon Ramsay complained. So that's what he did. So yes. So I think he did complain as well. But you know, but that's one of the things as well. You know, when you're working something like that, it's very, very difficult because you're like I say, you've got your wage, your minimum wage or whatever it will be. So you do rely on the tips. So that's something I always have in the back of my head when you do go to restaurants. You know, the tips are for the staff. Emma said, these owners surely realise how bad they make themselves look on TV. Can't be good for business. But you know what, Emma, actually, that was another tip Gordon Ramsay was saying, because one of the restaurants he went to, and he was saying that as well, one of the owners actually argued on on TripAdvisor. So some people leave reviews, and he actually was arguing with the person. Do you know what? Funny, when I've been on TripAdvisor, sometimes if I go to a restaurant, I'll have a quick look on TripAdvisor to look at the comments, and you do see that. And sometimes you go to restaurants, and the owner will argue with people leaving negative comments. And as Ramsay said, listen, you will never get a restaurant where there's 100% positive reviews. Even the world's best restaurants, somebody out of spite, somebody because they didn't like the way a food was cooked, even though it's done properly, will leave a poor comment. And some people just do it to be nasty. But he said, if you start arguing with your customers will deliberately leave bad reviews so they can do the argument. He said, just let it go. But I have seen that where people do argue with their punters as well, and I just don't get that. Why would you do that? Because, like you say, people are going to read this. They're going to actually read it. So that's the whole thing, and you just think to yourself, well, you're not doing yourself any favors. But clearly, that guy thought he would get some publicity based upon the fact that he's of course done something silly and then trying to make money from it. But I think what is interesting, there is a website actually that I look at, which is quite interesting. They show what they do there and now. So I think it's called reality. I forget, reality TV something. And it tells you where the restaurants are now, and there's so many of them are closed. And I think a lot of them use it as leverage. Hello, Coco. How are you? You good? Minnie said, I think after they did the show, and the Amy's Bakery Company went to Dr. Phil because of the things they did on the kitchen. Oh, really? So it ended up on Dr. Phil. Coco's good. I'm glad you're good. How are things? You're right. Sienna was just on earlier. Minnie said, so not only did they get part of the episode of Kitchen Nightmare, but they got an episode at Dr. Phil. Publicity. Some people say no publicity is bad publicity. And I think that's what you do find as well. Spark said, hi, Mark, I'm going to run along now. Haha, it's been almost, it's 3 a.m. Oh, my God, well, you better go. Listen, Spark, thank you so much for joining us. We really love it. And thank you for subscribing. Really love to have new subscribers here. So we're really glad that you did. Please join. Our lives are at 6 o'clock on every Tuesday and every Friday. So, yeah, please join. This was so much fun, though. Would I catch you guys at the same time next week? Yes, we do Tuesday and Friday at 6 o'clock UK time. So yes, if you want to. I know Tuesday might be a bit difficult because obviously it's a working day, but yeah, if you can, please do join us. I know only 3 a.m. Oh my God, 3 a.m. So yeah, Sparks is in Singapore, so he's joining us on the live there. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, yeah, so some people do like the publicity, and they do say no publicity is bad publicity. So yeah, what was I going to say? Lovely to catch up with you so much as I can. Do you know what, guys? I'm just thinking, actually, it's nearly 2 hours we've been on here. I've had so much fun doing the live. and it's been so fun. So I'm going to leave it there and let you guys go off and have a fantastic weekend. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed today, actually. I've been difficult on my own, but you've made it really, really fun. So Kelly and I will be together doing the live soon, hopefully. But this Tuesday will probably be Kelly on her own doing the live. But after that, hopefully, we don't know. Hopefully soon we'll be back together. As always, we really enjoy you joining us on the live. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic, everyone. Stay safe, remember, and you're never too old to have fun. Have a fantastic weekend, and we will see you on Tuesday, 6 o'clock. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you for joining us on the live. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.